on to our real-life panelists who are in the room. We have some amazing experts who will present quite different perspectives, including from Microsoft, a technology firm whose role in AI probably doesn't need to be introduced. And from Microsoft, I welcome Jarosław Sokolnicki, Director of Technology Center. Thank you. Hi. And we have also Emanuela Matić, founder and COO at Scoop Technologies, another one of our startups from the EIT food portfolio. Hi, Emanuela. Yes, sit where you'd like to sit most. Okay, this is my most difficult part of it. I'm going to get it right. We are next inviting Kristina Šermukšnytė-Alešiūnienė. Almost, okay. So Kristina, fantastic to have you with us. Kristina is the CEO at Agrifood Lithuania, and indeed Kristina's traveled to us today from Lithuania to provide information on the use of AI in agriculture. And we also have on the panel Bartłomiej Przybylski, Data Insights and Analytics Manager at Żabka. There is Bartłomiej, and he will also. Oh no, here. Sorry, I thought there was somebody coming down from here. And our panel will be moderated by Michał Mądry, who is wearing many hats, including Managing Director at foodtech AC and Partner and Head of Transformation at JP Weber. Hi, wonderful. So please. Michał, your chair and microphone are here, and let's get started with our final panel.
So I had prepared a 15-minute introduction, but apparently avatars already take our jobs. I wonder how the future going to look like, but I can assure you that we are humans, at least. I think so. I hope so. But either way, it's a great pleasure to be at the unfortunate but the very end of today's event. It was a great pleasure for me as well to be here. As you said, I wear a double hat. I like to be in this panel because I have a consulting company which does transformation, but also am, as managing director of foodtech AC, very much invested into the market of agri-food. But it's the AI today, the technology is not always all the things that matter. Sometimes I don't even have to use the technology, right? I can use my voice. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's go for a round of introductions. If you could say a few words about yourself, what's your current role? Just a quick round, and then we go to the questions. So maybe Jarek, if we could start with you. Yes, I have to give.
You took my microphone. So my name is Sokolnicki. I'm responsible for cooperating mostly with the big companies in Microsoft Technology Center. Is the CE Central Europe Innovation Hub when we're trying to build something, a little bit experiments with our customers, with partners. So it's the way how we present what technology can do and how we cooperate together. That's it.
So I'm Kristina with very difficult last name. So I represent Agrifood Lithuania, and we as the organization, we have started in 2011, and we've started with the idea that technological companies need to unite in order to digitalize agri-food. Everyone was laughing. Now, just 10 years passed, and now we are talking about it on the panels and the conferences. Right now, I'm wearing a couple of hats. The second hat I have, we just become European Digital Innovation Hub. So that's initiative from European Commission in order, again, to transform sectors, to digitalize sectors. And also we are EIT Food Hub in Lithuania, representing EIT Food, of course, with one of the priorities with the digitalization in agri-food sector.
Thank you.
I think I have my own. Yeah, it's working. I'm Emma. I'm a founder and CEO of Scoop Technologies. Scoop is a data science startup from Croatia, And basically what we do, we work with large agriculture enterprises. We create various prediction, simulation, optimization algorithms that help them navigate their overall productivity.
Thank you.
I'm Bartłomiej. I work as a data insight analyst and data insight analytics manager right now in Żabka Group, which is a chain of retail shops in Poland with over 10,000 shops across the whole country. So we deal with insights, data every day. That's what we do. And we also use artificial intelligence to help our franchisees and our company work better and work in a more sustainable world.
Thank you so much. So as we've heard from Professor Przegalińska, AI as a trend, as technology is quite diverse. So we have heard a lot of different use cases, but also technologies. I hope that you all remembered at least a few important things about this technology. But let's delve deeper into specific use cases. I'd like to ask, because you come from different backgrounds, some of you more corporate, some of you are more ecosystem, some of you are more startup. That's why I wanted to kind of see how did the use cases differ from one to another. And first I'd like to ask Jarek, you represent Microsoft, as we all know, a global technology leader for many decades now, with heavy investments also in AI in the last couple of years. And what key use cases do you see in Microsoft along the entire supply chain? What specific use cases maybe which Professor Przegalińska mentioned you would like to emphasize or focus on? What do you think about it?
Okay, thank you for your questions. So first of all, the AI is nothing new. As you said, we have predictive AI for the years. We're using AI in our Facebook, Google, and other parts. So data mining and AI algorithms are nothing new. In predictive, in generative AI, yeah, it's launched just more than 1 year ago. What did the OpenAI, giving us the ChatGPT-3 and semantic large language model, which give us ability to speak, to talk, to communicate, to synthesize. Wow, it was something amazing. And in general, what we are doing, I think that the two things. The first one is we implement the AI functions into our product, like Copilot. So we have Copilot in Word, in Excel, in Teams, in many products. So it means that you can use the natural language and talk to your Word, and Word which we instead of you will write the poem or something like this, what you want. So it's actually dramatically is changing how we operate with some applications, how we're dealing with that. It's completely new way. The next part is it's a little bit more complicated, I want to say. We are looking for evidence. We are looking for evidence on the business level that the AI is truly, the whole grail for some of business. According to McKinsey, the most beneficial business will be FSI. The second is retail. The third is medical, healthcare, etc. So, in general, okay, if we take some scenarios, if we take some projects, some ideas, some inventions, how we can be absolutely positive that that kind of technology deliver the value, the KPIs. So what we're trying to do to achieve with our customer is to making some experiments. We have 3 types of innovations, AI innovations. The first is the effectiveness innovation. So we're looking for the effectiveness. The second part is how make something different. So differentiation innovation. We're making some process in different way. We're engaging the customer in different way. So it's we're trying to find out the way that the artificial intelligence help us making something different way. And last but not least is transforming innovation. When we can transform the market, the product, we have heard from Przegalińska that, okay, probably we can use some, artificial intelligence, generative or not networks, which help us, to invent completely new product, new way. So it's how we can transform. Sorry for the long.
No, it was great. I thank you for being pragmatic, because I see that you are very much focused onto saying that we have to have a business case behind it, and of course this technology can and probably will be transformative. But on the same page, we need to focus on the business side of it. And also, one more comment that I really liked that this information that as humanity we have been dealing with AI for last couple of years in social media, right? Which is not giving that much of an attention, right? Which is big data and AI behind this is something that we deal with on daily basis and do not talk about it that much.
What does mean dealing? It was hidden in some application, just serving us some functionality or something like this. So, I think that the first time we have, some interactions, two-way interactions, not only that we're getting some results and seeing something on the website or on the Facebook, or getting some, like assortment management, some products, something like this, but we can talk each other. So it's, two-way communications.
Yeah.
That kind of is new.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Kristina, from your perspective, I really liked your information that you spearhead the digital transformation. You're so much also invested into the ecosystem and, as you said, wear many hats. From your perspective, how do you see this AI trend right now? How do you see the last, let's say, 12 months in terms of the AI boom, and what are the key use cases also from your perspective that you see on an everyday basis?
Yeah, well, thank you for that question. It's a great question. Well, Professor's avatar, what I really liked about it, probably to say, has explained a lot of different layers with the agri-food sector and then AI, and in which areas it could be used. And I really liked the different levels of AI, and Jarosław is talking now about different impacts of the AI. This narrow AI was used in agriculture for already a long time. In precision agriculture, with the different software, our technology companies, they were making software which I remember 10 years ago was called to generate predictive models. Now, predictions, yeah. So how it could be if according to this and this data. Now, when we are talking about today, the landscape is changing very drastically, and especially during the last days. So what's happening now? What we can do with the artificial intelligence, we have huge amounts of the data, and in the past year, I've been observing that many projects, many pilots coming in to work with the data and putting AI together and see what it could be achieved through the working with those huge amounts of data and implement the pilots, implement use cases. Just, for example, to predict the diseases of the crops based on very different, quite complicated layers. Like, for example, looking back for 20 years meteorological data, right? Adding the type of soil, adding the region of the country, adding the type of the farming. And out of the sudden, we are getting the result which, from the first sight, seems that gonna bring the effectiveness. Also, I love the word, the effectiveness, the high effectiveness of the farming. And it's expected a lot from the AI to raise the productivity, at least up to the 30%, but these are huge numbers. What we need now to do, we implement those new technologies, we combine with the AI, we create the new systems, but we still need to test whether it's really gonna be working, because one thing, when we have AI and we can right away see the result. some kind of prediction, and we can test it right away. Another thing, when we are talking about the agri-food sector, we need to remember that it's combined out of different layers. So first of all, we have nature, we have people, then we have machinery, then we have crops, then we have food, then we have production, then we have the whole food value chain. So it's again, what kind of impact we would like to achieve and in which parts of the food value chain. So this is again very important. And I really like to emphasize, for example, for the food processors, they already been implementing quite complicated systems, digital systems, but for the farmers, we've been observing that the bigger gap is becoming between large farmers and the smallhold farmers. So again, through this digitalization, we need to remember that we need not to leave anyone behind. But how to do it, that's another question.
Yeah, and that will be the second question, but that's actually really interesting. And I've also taken up from what you said that the data is at the very heart, and you used a couple of examples on how can we use data to employ machine learning in order to create specific solutions. You mentioned the use case of diseases, which I really liked. And Emma, I'm not sure, you probably also deal with this this area, right? Because in Scoop Technologies, you do utilize AI and machine learning with a very strong focus on agri-food industry. Can you specify a bit more about that? What use cases do you employ and how do you incorporate this technology?
Yeah, of course. I actually really liked everything that Kristina said, because the part with the data is actually what we do. We are above all a data science company. We were just founded as data science company. And our story is very unique because we are the ones who were approached by a client. We are the ones who were approached by a large agriculture enterprise. And I know that in this business, this is quite rare. And our client, he had an issue. He wanted a help. So he wanted a help to create him a good sowing plan. So where, what to plant. And this was a complicated issue for him because he still has over 200 fields. He has to choose between 5 or 10 different crops, and each crop has 1,000 plus different varieties. So basically, it's a complicated choice. And he said, I have a lot of data. Can you try to do something? And we tried. He said, he gave us some conditions. The conditions were, I want to maximize my yields, I don't want to degrade my soil, and I still want to make sure that I follow regulations. So these were our conditions, and we created him a plan, optimization algorithm that gave him a plan, and he liked it. He liked what we did, and after a month, he came back with another request, and then we got another client. And we basically realized, okay, here is a huge demand. These people really have problems. And we decided to focus on slowly this area, trying to create these algorithms, do what we know how to do, which is algorithms, to try to help them. They all, at the end of the day, want the same thing, to produce more with less. Quite simple. Less input, less resources, less time, less environmental impact. And we can all achieve that using data science, various optimization algorithms that help them achieve their prediction, decision support tools, and this is basically what we do.
Mm-hmm. That's a great story, and I really appreciate stories where there's a demand from the customer, and from this demand there springs innovation, and then a company like yours can develop. That's really a great way to develop. But again, you focus on this predictive part, data and analytics part, which I know also Bartek is very much interested in. You said yourself that you're a data scientist, right? You are a manager at Żabka Group, which is, by the way, I think well-known company, also well-known for data-driven management. That's very often showcased in media as a data-driven company. I wanted to ask specifically, how do you utilize AI and data and analytics in Żabka, and can you provide some use cases for all of us?
Yes, of course. Thank you for the question. Yes, I like to consider Żabka as a data-driven company. And actually, we have a very rich portfolio of AI models and analytics around different areas we work in as Żabka Group. But when I prepared to this panel, I thought about some examples that might be really interesting for you. And the large group of such examples goes around food waste prevention. This is the thing that we focus very much on, and we actually do that for years now. So we use artificial intelligence both to help optimize our internal processes and to help our franchisees, which are independent business people, to reduce their risk of wasting food. Well, this is a two-sided game. Of course, it's easier to order less, but then you can decrease the amount of sales. But if you order too much, this is a problem because you need to waste. So we try to find this equilibrium to help our franchisees order just enough. This is something that we call the automated replenishment platform, and it is well known and well used among our franchisees. It helps them make decisions because we consider AI as something that helps you make a decision. It's not a tool that makes a decision for you. It's not a tool that makes the best decision, but it allows you to make a better decision. So every model that helps you make a better decision is a good model. Of course, we want to achieve the best decision possible, but the road is long. So this is one of the things. And there are, of course, specific products with very, very short expiration dates, like breads and buns and other things like that. This is the area where we help our franchisees too. We help them make decisions on when to put those things into the oven to make sure that they are all sold. We don't waste anything. Yeah, but the main thing here is that we need to have data. So what Kristina said about data is obviously true, but the thing is that not everyone can have all the data. So larger companies have larger amounts of data. We have over 10,000 stores we used to learn from. We learn a lot about how they work, how they operate, what decisions are made by our franchisees. So this is what makes Żabka a data-driven company.
Mm-hmm. That's really amazing, and thank you for these specific examples. And from what I can see, we mostly discuss here the cases of either predictive AI or basically data/analytics focused models, not necessarily the big generative boom that we've mentioned. Maybe I will touch upon it in the further question, but here I wanted to ask some follow-ups about both the challenges and how can we kind of overcome them, also from your perspective, because again, you represent different backgrounds, so I wonder how to make something out of the community that we have here and try to find further use cases, right? We are here to transform the future, right? To build a new agri-food sector. We are the ones in this room who can really make an impact or make a change. So I wanted to ask, I know that I'm asking for some big words. I know this is always a difficult question, but still I wonder what are the key challenges for specific agri-food sector and how can we build something together today in this room to make a real impact? Jarek?
Well, I'm not super specialist in agri-food sector, but I can say what we struggle with almost every customer and every company. So let's start at the beginning. The first one, we have to stop thinking or talking about this and doing something. So it's the first.
Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, it's not the case that I stop dreaming. Yes, we should dream, but in general, we need some evidence and some proof. Today is the way how we can take that kind of proof. It's the experiments. Mm-hmm. Let's start with some small steps. Let's with the ChatGPT, talk to the ChatGPT, getting some answer. Let's make the avatars or the agents. It's quite interesting that you can put some personification on the large language model level. So if we're taking the ChatGPT and it's broad, so it means that it's very generic. Mm-hmm. But you can say to them, okay, let's be unique in that kind of, I don't know, the science or something like this. Let's be, my assistants to help me do something. What I'm trying to say that in every sector, in every part of the value chain, we have to make some experiments. We will get the next steps as the iterations. We should be, we're doing it in 3D. The first is the discovery. So discover the number, the list of potential projects. The second part is design. Design the infrastructure, design the organization structure, design yourself to make it happen, because it's not easy. Let's try to do it within the financial sector. It's not so easy to making the experiments because you have the consumer data, you have, it's many obstacles and many, the limitations which can do. And the last but not least is just deployment, but very simple deployment. So it means that make the experiments. So I think that we should start with the first experiment, which give us, some answer about the effectiveness. And the next, we'll get more and more and more and more, like every research. We'll get more and more data, more and more information. We will be smarter how we operate on that kind of artificial intelligence. And last but not least, I think that the next step to better understanding what does mean generative AI, this is not that we create the simple poem or something like this. You can imagine it, that you can generate synthetic data to simulate almost everything. So if you can imagine that you can build the digital twin and you make the twin simulations and you not predict the future, you can predict the best way how you can operate in the future because you can simulate everything. It's like quantum mechanics, superposition. You are everywhere, but you're taking the best way.
Yeah. Wow, that's quite a lot to take, to be honest. I always think to myself whether I want to think about it too much or I don't, but thank you for this. I really liked you, back to the thing that you said, to experiment. I think that the community that we have here and basically EIT and its entire mission is very much focused on experimentation, building, this piloting, different programs. So I think that's a really nice way to start. And also you said discover, design, and deploy, right? As a 3D for
3D or 3E. 3I, it can be.
Yeah.
You have to be intelligent to learn something new, how to operate in a new way, to indicate some patterns. So you have to be intelligent, you have to be innovative, and you have to be interaction. So it means that you step by step, you can resolve. You can make atomic bomb just like that. So
yeah. Thank you so much.
Many times.
Thank you so much. Kristina, during the last speech, you mentioned the challenge that I really liked, that you probably prepared to this question. So I will even not ask the question, and I will give to you the answer.
Okay, the challenges. Well, first of all, I'd like to say again, I liked it. It's not very easy, right? When we are talking about digitalization, we've been hearing a lot of a priority in the agri-food value chain about digital traceability, right? But if it would have been that easy, we would have done it. It's not that easy. I've seen already many projects going on with different digital passports, how they're called, for the product, for the value chain, for the certain vegetable. But when you really would like to implement from primary production to the end consumer, with digital traceability, right away you're facing not only the problem how to connect the whole food value chain, but the problem of whether the data is reliable. Yeah, that's a challenge. We are talking that I've seen the statistics that in upcoming 10 years, the agri-food sector is going to be the main sector to be attacked by the cyber attacks. Because of the data, because of the importance, because of the usage of the precision farming and similar things. So whether it's going to happen, I hope not. Maybe we can find the ways, but it's not very easy. Again, another thing, when we talk about digitalization now, we do not only talk about just implementing software, simple software. Now we're talking about the full systems, whether it's farms, whether it's producing food. And again, I really liked when Emanuela said about that the customer came and they said what they want, but if we start thinking about scalability, to adapt those data for everyone, now we are facing the challenge. And we have this pilot, we're trying to implement a predictive platform, as you would say, that's again for the helping for the regenerative farming practices. But one country has one data, another has another data, and about the same practices, about the same soil. So when we try to work with this different data and to apply to everyone, then we're facing a problem. But I'm not a data scientist, but that's what we are trying to solve, at least at our use cases. So that's a big challenge. Another thing, as a European Digital Innovation Hub, what we do, first of all, we are doing the audits for the farmers, it could be for the SMEs, to help them, first of all, see if they need digitalization at all. Because when we are talking about high-level technologies, first of all, that's high prices. that's a big investment, first of all, to implement that. Another, you need infrastructure. So now we are not only talking about implementing new technology, we are talking that you need the infrastructure. So one countries, they have more of the, just the basic, for example, thing in the regions, internet. Some don't have at all. So how do you proceed with that? Then ROI. If I implement and if it's useful, when I'm gonna getting return of investment, if I'm gonna getting the return of the investment. So this is the basic service that we provide. Next level is if we see that some technologies would be useful after the audit, we have the service test before invest. So it's again testing whether for that company, for that farmer is gonna work one technology or other. It sounds quite simple, but it's not when you're trying to implement the new technology and show whether it's working or not. So.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So you mentioned the diffusion of innovation, cybersecurity, also context of ROI and the cost effectiveness of the innovations that we can provide in the AI field. But you mentioned something that I really like, that sometimes there are platforms like European Digital Innovation Hubs that can support in both testing and helping to diffuse innovation, to help spread the word, and to perhaps help with access to some countries or companies that may need this support.
Exactly, and if it's even interesting for the whole ecosystem and maybe for the online listeners also, those European Digital Innovation Hubs, they are located in each member state. It was created by European Commission initiative, and it was I do not say mandatory, but all the member states have it. So for the SMEs, for farmers, now there is a place at least to come and get the audit for free.
That's nice. That's interesting. So Emma, what do you think about it? For you mentioned again some, I think, things that you touch upon on your everyday basis, in your everyday work, right? You work with customers and their specific problems. You see these problems with your own eyes.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask whether you agree with things that we've said before, or do you want to add something new to that? What's your perspective on that?
No, I think I completely agree with everything, and the challenges are always kind of the same. But I think the two main challenges that we have can be just summarized into: first is developing something that is valuable, a valuable algorithm or a valuable AI, and second is implementing it where it brings value. So valuable AI means precise algorithm. Precise algorithm means precise data, and we need more data, and this is a huge problem that we have, that any data scientist probably has. And I mean, don't get me wrong, yes, agriculture is full of data, but it's still very separated, very segmented, very inconsistent, and we should all different stakeholders work together, first of all, just to build the basic infrastructure to collect this data, to put some policies to standardize this data, and also to really promote data sharing and data access to different stakeholders. So this is one, and on the implementing side, I mean, you can only imagine. Kristina already mentioned the basic needs for AI implementation, which is connectivity, the digital infrastructure. And on the other hand, we need to make farmers, producers, the end users want to implement it. We need to motivate them, educate them about the benefits, about the potentials, and that's.
Yeah, that's a great context, and actually the thing that not many people think about is that actually the need for data infrastructure, the connectivity that you mentioned, is the absolute basis. Without it, we cannot innovate in a way that is possible. At the same time, it's very difficult to promote or to facilitate creation of infrastructure at such a scale that is needed in this regard. However, I think we can here together support on the data governance side, so supporting to have clean data, available data, open source data. Maybe some of you might not be too much agreeing on the open source side, but I'm a true believer of open source, so I guess that open sourcing large sets of clean data is something that can be beneficial for the development of this field. But thank you for this context, it was great. And from your perspective, Bartek, we're talking data governance, we're talking data. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I'm not the luckiest person here to answer the question as the last one, because actually everything I thought at first was already said. But the thing is, I think that we may feel a temptation of building AI models around data because we have data, but we need to remember that the world is very complex. And when we talk about processes in the agri-food sector, even single components, single characteristics that may have a huge influence on the whole market are hard to predict. Let's consider weather itself. Weather is very hard to predict. And this is only one of multiple inputs for AI models in the agri-food sector, or at least some of them. So having data is not all if the process is very complex. So I think the time that simple AI models, even simple predictive analytics, was done, it's not here. There are still plenty of problems that may be solved with small amounts of data, because we didn't think, or we do not think often about data as something that may help us make better decisions around us. So from what my colleague said here is I think one of the most important things to build the value is to communicate across the whole chain, from production through distribution, through sales to the customer. And that's what we actually do in Żabka. We share our data with our suppliers to tell them how it's going, so they can make better decisions when it comes to how they work with us. And I hope it works like that in the future, at least where it can give us some profits.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Bartek. I really like that we had the discussion, very pragmatic one, like not keeping up to the buzz and not being too much, buzzed and yeah. So I really like that we stuck to the thing that I felt would be interesting, hearing experts such as yourself. So thank you very much for your insights. Unfortunately, it is time for us to go home, or maybe not go home because
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah, because I know that there is some additional points of the agenda, but at least it's the end of this panel. It was a great pleasure to moderate it, to talk with you. Hope that we can have a little chat afterwards, and maybe in the future, maybe as avatars, as intro from Professor Przegalińska.
Hopefully not yet.
Yeah, but thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.